Chapman and Rick Corelli. Two drivers who got their first career win right here at Bristol Motor Speedway. NASCAR Truck Racing's next. ESPN Speed World welcomes you live to Bristol Motor Speedway. Thunder Valley is the site of tonight's Loadhandler 200. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is on the track and we're ready to go racing. A very cloudy evening, the site here. The wind 5 to 10 miles an hour, but boy, look at the humidity, 83 miles an hour. And here's a look at our starting lineup. Rich Bickle is the point standings leader, 1,343, 40 points ahead of Jack Sprague. Then Kenny Irwin, a two-time winner this season, is in third. Now we'll take a look at the starting lineup. On the pole, the Napa number 16 of Ron Hornaday, 119.910. Boris Seddon, the Federated Auto Parts number 44. Row number 2, we see Rick Corelli, a former winner here, and Brian Reffner in number 66. Row number 3, Tony Raines, who got his first win this year in the Pennzoil Dodge, and a two-time winner, Kenny Irwin Jr. Ron Barfield in number 55, and Rich Bickle in car number 17. Michael Dawkin in the Napa Dodge, number 18, and Tammy Jo Kirk, row number 6, Jack Sprague and Tony Roper in truck 31. Back to row number 7, the number 75 of Dan Press, Lonnie Rush Jr. from Pickerington, Ohio in number 77. Mike Bliss up on the lid last time here in number 2, and Jay Sauter in the good wrench number 3. Blaze Alexander in number 62 in row number 9, along with Butch Miller. And rounding out the 10th row is Brad Teague in number 91 and local favorite Kelly Denton.
Row 11, we have Bob Keselowski on the inside, Dave Rezendes in 35 on the outside. Row 12, Curtis Markham in Boomer Esiason's truck, and Joe Ruttman, former winner. 13th row, Rick Crawford and Stacy Compton. Row 14, we have Jimmy Hensley and Lance Norick in the NHL truck. Row 15, Doug George and Toby Butler. Row 16, Bob Rizzo and Terry Cook. Row 17, Chuck Bound and Randy Renfro. And our provisional starters are Kenny Allen and Robert Huffman in row 18. Row 19, Jeff Spraker and Greg Marlowe.
Folks, the voice you're listening to is Phil Parsons. I'm Ray Dunlap, and Larry Rice will be patrolling the pits for us tonight. We are about ready to go green flag racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. There have been 9 pole winners, and new track records this year.
7 different winners, as many winners as we had all of last year.
The green flag is out, and the Napa truck is hard on the gas. Ron Hornaday leads them down to turn number 1.
We'll see how quickly these guys want to try to get to the inside. Rich Bickle's caught in the outside, has already lost 3 or 4 positions.
Jack Sprague makes the move there in the Quaker State truck number 24 and gets past Bickle. 2x2 racing deep in the field.
These guys want to get to the inside as quick as they can. You've got about the first 12 trucks already single file. And the guys on the outside are just looking for a hole, begging somebody to give them some room and let them in.
What a great jump Ron Hornaday got in the Napa truck to get ahead of Boris Said, the outside pole winner. Qualifying was very, very tough this weekend here at Bristol. Underway, and there is Rich Bickle.
I think Rich Bickle's had some sort of a problem. He's about 10, 12 car lengths behind Jack Sprague in the 24 truck. He may be holding up Tammy Jo Kirk in the 7 truck, but there's some sort of a problem with Rich Bickle.
A lovable sponsorship for Tammy Jo Kirk before she came in from the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series, and Rich Bickle definitely slower than the front 10 trucks. He is dropped back as Dan Press there is on the inside. Mike Bliss to the outside in the 2 truck.
We saw Dan Prescott on the inside and made
and Bliss is in the wall on the front straightaway. The number 2 truck slides up to the turn, and the yellow flag is out. 3 trucks crashing, 4 trucks now, as Kenny Allen in the number 65 also hard into the wall, as many of those trucks tried to slow up to avoid Mike Bliss.
You see that a lot, especially at a place like Bristol, Ray. The initial wreck happened, and then all the guys in the back, one guy slows down, the other guy can't quite get slowed down, and he runs in the back of him. We had 4 trucks involved in the wreck after the fact.
Mike Bliss hit the wall very hard on the front straightaway, right about the exact same location that he hit it last year and got up on his side.
Here he is. He's caught on the outside. He got a little bit loose off the corner. He overcorrected. The thing turned back into the wall, and I think it cut down the right front tire. That's where they're in the pits right now, changing the right front tire.
So trouble for Mike Bliss and the Team ASE truck here, number 2. and they're looking at the right rear there, Phil. Maybe some damage.
You notice the cement mark from the right rear, so he definitely got on the wall with the right rear, too. That could have been to rear end housing, could have been a trailing arm. So we'll have to see what happens to see if they can get Mike Bliss back on the racetrack.
Fourth in the points coming in here, just 60 points back, so it is desperately important for him to get back in the race, but he has lost a lap.
I don't know if they made him stay in the pits because he changed the right front tire. I don't know if that was a penalty or if he just took that much time to change that.
Three-time winner last season, Mike Bliss, in trouble early here at Bristol. Inside right now, we've got the camera, and we'll take a look at what Mike Bliss saw.
Here he is going down the backstretch, going in turn 3 on the outside. Here he is, he's back in the throttle hard.
Dan Press on the inside in the Spears truck, and boy, he just got a little bit loose.
There he saw the truck getting loose, and he turned right to catch the thing, and it turned right back into the outside wall.
So Mike Bliss brings out the first caution here at Bristol Motor Speedway, lap 7, and we'll be back with more racing in the Loadhandler 200 after this. Coverage of the Loadhandler 200 is brought to you by Loadhandler Smart Truck Tools. By the new Dodge, it's about change. By Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. And by Napa Auto Parts Stores. At Napa, we keep America running. Ron Hornaday Jr. in the Napa truck has opened up a huge lead over Boris Said here at Bristol. Welcome back, folks. We were under caution just moments ago for Mike Bliss as he made contact with the front stretch wall. And we are wondering what exactly is going on with Rich Bickle in the Die Hard truck in the number 17. Well, Larry Rice is caught up with Barry Dodson, the crew chief for Mike Bliss.
Barry, did Mike say what happened out there? Mike say?
I can't hear you. Something about that 75 truck and us, the Bristol, we seem to always get together. He was all over the place, and we were a lot faster. We tried to go the outside, and he ran us up in the wall. We'll just try to get it fixed. I think right now it's got a broken shot.
Okay, there you have it. They think they've got a broken shot.
And Butch Miller has spun going down the back straightaway. The official's taking a look at it, but Butch is back underway. So apparently no caution flag, and Butch Miller in trouble in the Orleans sponsor, number 20.
I'll tell you, that was an awfully tough break for Jimmy Smith's, Mike Bliss's truck. Jimmy, they had the fastest truck in practice prior to qualifying. He bottomed out qualifying, didn't get a very good start. He was really fast today on long runs, and he's had trouble. We got trouble on the backstretch.
A couple of cars trucks, I should say. Doug George in the number 12 car has made contact with the inside wall. And also Tony Roper, I believe. Boy, he really hit it hard.
Boy, he sure did. I tell you, he's in the Power Rangers truck. He needs a little bit of, I tell you, that was a tough break for Doug George. Now his truck's on fire. You can see right now he's stunned, but at least he's on the inside. The emergency crew is already there.
There, on top of that, to get the fire out of the number 12 truck, Doug George needs to get out of the cockpit. You're right, he hit the wall pretty hard. I think it shook him up.
He hit real hard. You could tell he was shaken up.
So things can happen in a hurry here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and we have seen that definitely be the case. The fire continuing underneath the engine compartment of the number 12. Safety crews on the scene there, and Doug George is out of the truck.
Randy Renfro was also involved in the 41 truck. Ironically, Jimmy Smith with Ultra Wheels also helps him. So Jimmy's two trucks that he's involved with have had trouble already tonight.
Yeah, I need to correct myself here, folks. It was not Tony Roper. That was Randy Renfro that was involved there, but those trucks all have continued. But it looks like the night is done for the number 12 team. Well, you may be wondering why we got to such a fast start here at Bristol. All afternoon, they have been talking about possible showers in the area, and NASCAR said, let's get this truck race started right away. Make sure we get past the halfway point here. It looks pretty clear over top of Thunder Valley right now.
It's a beautiful night for racing here. It's cooled off. It was extremely hot during the day. Let's look at this. We've got the tail end of this crash. There you see Doug George is already in the wall. Here comes Randy Renfro. He just spun in just a little, maybe some minor damage, but you can tell that Doug George is stunned right now because he looks like he never put his foot on the brake.
He hit it so hard that it knocked the windshield out of the truck, so that's the kind of impact, and drove the left front tire all the way in. We're going to take a break. Larry Rice is on his way to check up on Doug George, and we'll update you on his condition when we get back.
We're inside Lance Norrick's truck with the NHL sponsorship. He's highlighting the Detroit Red Wings for winning the Stanley Cup championship. I was at Game 4, Ray. I know you're from Toledo, so I know you're a Red Wing fan. But
rub that in.
Yeah, I was able to go. My cousin got my brother Steve and I tickets, and we all went and had a great time. I think Lance has tried to give a wall a slap shot. When he drove by on the right side, you can see where he's had some contact with the wall. So I believe you see the tires there. You see where the concrete is embedded in between the tire and the wheels. So he gave the wall a slap shot, and I'm sure the wall won. And
that's not uncommon here at Bristol. We may see a lot of trucks looking like Lance Norrick's tonight.
Exactly, much like Mike Bliss early in the race. So it happens here. This racetrack is so narrow, so fast that just one little slip and you're in the wall.
200 laps tonight, and Ron Hornaday has been on a rail right from the start. The big question is, can Boris Said, Rick Corelli, or Kenny Irwin come up and give him a run? That truck has been in great shape tonight. The Napa Brakes, number 16. Well, we're under caution, and we're going to take a break from Bristol Motor Speedway. More of the Loadhandler 200 after these. Ron Hornaday Jr. is the leader here in the Loadhandler 200 back at Bristol Motor Speedway. This is why we're under yellow. The cleanup continues as Doug George's Power Rangers number 12 is being loaded onto the rollback, and they've got a good bit of cleanup still to do there.
They're going to transport Doug George to a hospital. Larry was down there checking on that. They're going to transport him to the hospital for further examination. All they're saying right now is that he was shaken up, and we saw that on the television monitor that he was shaken up. But they're going to transport him for tests to a local hospital.
So the cleanup continues there, and we should be able to go back to racing here shortly. Now here is the Pennzoil truck of Tony Raines, and earlier he went to the pit area, and he has dropped a couple of laps down. A tough break for Tony Raines, who won earlier this year at I-70 Speedway, and evidently they had a transmission problem.
They were saying that the truck was hung in second gear. He got ready for the restart, and I'm sure he went to shift to third gear, and he couldn't get it out of second gear, so they had to come in, jack it up, go underneath it, pull the levers manually underneath the truck, and they lost 3 laps doing it.
Here's Jack Sprague in the Quaker State number 24. He has really made a move. Now up to 6th place, started in 11th, so Sprague is on his way to the front. And you see right behind him is Rich Bickle in the diehard number 17. The big question is if Bickle got his problems figured out.
Mike Bliss has made repeated pit stops on this caution flag. Larry talked to Barry earlier. Larry, you did back with Barry Dodson?
Steve Lockman, right?
Oh,
Steve Lockman is Steve Lockman.
Okay, Larry's down with Doug George's crew chief. Larry?
Yeah, Steve Lockman, they're going to transport Doug. What's wrong, do you know?
I was just in the infield care center with him. He's in good spirits. He's laughing and joking. He banged his left ankle pretty good. I don't believe it's broken, but they're taking him to check for x-rays. He said a front tire went, and he had no control, so.
Okay, he blew a tire, got in the wall, but he's going to be okay, but he might have some trouble with that ankle. Back upstairs.
Well, that's good news there, Larry, no doubt about it. Well, Tony Raines has got his problems figured out, maybe in the number 19 car. That is the big question. Can he get back in and challenge in this race? Well, Tony Raines now pilots Kurt Rohrig's Pennzoil Dodge, and after winning the 1996 ASA Championship, the Hoosier State native failed to qualify for the first 2 races in the first 4 events. Well, in just his 5th start here in the series, the 33-year-old took the checkered flag at I-70 Speedway, and there is a very happy crew. A win for Dodge. We haven't seen that for a long, long time.
I guess it's been 20-some years since the Dodge won a major NASCAR race, if I'm not mistaken.
So whether or not they've got their problems fixed, we'll have to find out. But Tony Raines now 3 laps down, so he has got a long way to go. And they're giving us the indication of 1 lap to go. So the field will bunch up, and we'll be back under racing here in the Loadhandler 200.
Mike Bliss made yet another pit stop, just barely beat the pace truck out. So the problem is they're giving 1 to go, so by the time the pace truck gets all the way back to turn 3, Mike Bliss won't be able to get his rifle position, which is right up out front on the inside line, to try to get his lap back. So He'll have to really hope for another caution now so he can get back to the front, see if he can get ahead of Ron Hornaday to get his lap back.
Well, he's going to do everything he can here, Phil, to get the ASE truck back up to the front, but the green flag is going to come out before he gets there, but he'll have a head of steam heading into the turn. The pace truck is off. On the inside is the Pennzoil truck, 3 laps down, and Ron Hornaday back on the gas.
Got Tony Raines now trying to get one of his laps back. He started on the inside line, 1 lap down for the lap trucks.
Lap 34, the restart here, back under green flag racing. Ron Hornaday Jr. on the pole tonight with a brand new track record here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
It's obvious Tony Raines has his truck fixed, because if he was still in second gear, he wouldn't be near this fast. But looks like he's almost catching Ron Hornaday a little bit.
So Raines is getting up on the back of the number 16 truck, and Boris Said is now in a battle. Oh, in trouble on the back straightaway. 2 trucks, one of them is the 52. The Lance Norrick NHL truck is involved with that. Kenny Schrader's truck, driven by Toby Butler, the Purolator Filters truck, both of those cars with serious damage at the end of the back straightaway.
Pretty significant contact with the inside wall there with Toby Butler's truck. You can't hardly see Lance Norrick's to see how much damage he has. Let's look and see what happened. Just jumbled up almost 4 wide here. Right in the middle, it looks like, no, right at the back of that pack, looks like it looked like maybe Chuck Bound got in the back of Toby Butler, who in turn got in the back of Lance Norrick, and around they went. The problem with these straightaways here, Ray, they're banked 16 degrees. They're self-cleaning. If something happens, you come down to the inside. It's inevitable, and the wall is close to the racetrack, so you very rarely miss the wall.
Well, Lance Norrick is headed to the pits along with Toby Butler. We're going to take a break from Bristol Motor Speedway under the 3rd caution of the night, and Hornaday is the leader. Just back under green flag racing, Ron Hornaday again with a great jump on the field as he has gotten ahead of everyone. And look at this, Tony Raines back to the pits, and again a problem with his transmission. He just couldn't get it up to speed on the restart.
You saw him inside the truck working the shifter back and forth, trying to get it out of second gear. He got hung in second gear again.
From second place back to about 15th, there isn't about 5 foot between any one of the trucks, but Ron Hornaday is stretching it out. You see Ron Barfield in the number 55 car, and he and Jack Sprague just moved to the inside of Mike Bliss, and again, they're having trouble. Take a look at our Napa Field summary. Hornaday, your leader. He started on the pole. Boris Said has stayed in second position. Pirelli, Kenny Irwin, and Ron Barfield, so not much of a change in the front of the field.
Jack Sprague moved up from his 11th starting position up to 6th. You had Rick Crawford back in 15th. Jay Sauter up in 11th. Kelly Ditton in the 30 truck with local sponsorship this week from Food City. Curtis Markham in 19th.
Good battle for 5th here on the racetrack right now as Barfield in the 55 is racing along with Kenny Irwin in the Ray Bastas truck. And here comes Jack Sprague. Sprague is making a move, taking a look to the inside on Barfield.
Yeah, that's actually a battle for 4th when you include the 98 truck of Kenny Irwin. 4th, 5th, and 6th right there.
Irwin, a 2-time winner in 1997 in the Craftsman Truck Series. A rookie in the division, somewhat of a surprise, and they have had an incredible year. He and Rich Fickle both with 2 victories in 1997.
I was reading that the 55 truck of Ron Barfield was entered by Tom Gloy, a big name in road racing, so trying to break in the truck series a little bit.
Barfield's been driving quite a bit for Bill Elliott, and tonight in a Tom Gloy number 55. Now this is 10th place on the racetrack as Jay Sauter in the Goodwrench truck is trying to work his way around Tammy Joe Kirk in the Lovables number 7, and Tammy Joe got her a little bit squirrely on the front stretch.
Yeah, they've lost a little ground to the 9th place truck, so Jay Sauter says, I have to get by her and get on up so I don't lose track of the trucks ahead of us.
And right behind this group is Kelly Denton in the Food City truck, that number 30, as you said. Denton from right here in Bristol, Tennessee, so a lot of fans in the stands going to be rooting for that beautiful green truck. And Lance Norrick is definitely slow. Tammy Joe off the pace there. Sauter got around her.
Joe Ruttman made a nice move to get around Tony Roper in the 31 truck. Joe Ruttman in the 80 truck, the LCI truck from Jack Roush.
A lot of great racing back here from 4th place on back. There are battles all over the racetrack. There you see the Contour, number 31. That's Roper right behind Ruttman. Tammy Jo now moving up on Lance Norrick. Norrick with a slower truck, and Tammy Jo gets it sideways on the back straightaway. Couple of trucks sliding there. The number 75 of Dan Press also involved.
Curtis Markham also spun. He's down at the very end of pit wall towards turn 3. It's one of those things. Tammy Jo was trying to get around the lap truck and had a little contact there, looked like.
Boomer Esiason's Heroes, the sponsor on the 32 truck tonight, the Active Racing. Let's take a look at exactly what happened coming down the back straightaway.
Here you see Kelly Denton. Tammy Jo's trying to get by Lance Norrick. Doesn't go around the outside. Kelly Denton expected her to. Got in the back of it a little bit. Looked like Dan Press might have got hit in the back and turned him around into the inside wall. I'm sure the same thing happened to Curtis Markham. There he is. Curtis just went out of the screen sideways and got down to the inside wall with a little bit of contact.
The fourth caution of the night here in the Loadhandler 200, but these trucks look like they may be able to continue on in the race. Not a lot of damage to Tammy Jo's, but it appears she may head to the pit road. Now, Ron Hornaday has been the leader all night long. We're at lap 53 at this point in the Napa Brakes truck. And the big question, Phil, is what is the pit strategy this evening here at Bristol?
Well, with the truck series, there really is no pit strategy. You go to 100 laps, they throw the caution flag. You have a 5-minute timeout. You can do some adjustments. Let's go down to Larry Rice in the pits with Tammy Jo.
She's coming and she's changing both right side tires. You're not allowed to change tires under normal circumstances. But if they're flat spotted, they have to leave those tires on the pit lane. The inspectors will come down and take a look at them. If they were flat spotted, then it's okay. They'll make that determination after she goes back out. But I can see them now, and there aren't.
Well, thank you, Larry. That is the determination for the NASCAR officials to make whether or not they had a problem. On board the Precision Gear sponsored in-car, and Kelly Denton just came up on the back of Tammy Jo in a hurry. What a move Ruttman made.
It sure did. Had to get on the brakes hard to keep him running over him.
Well, that just shows you how things can happen in a hurry here, and Tammy Jo now headed back to pit road, so they will continue to service Jeff Bodine's number 7. Larry Rice.
Well, they come back in. They're going to change the left side tires now. Here's the flat spot on the tire. You cannot change tires on it normally except at the halfway point. If it's flat spotted, if it's flat, or if it's equalized, you can change. They've determined that it's okay. She had flat on 4 tires. She will not be penalized.
Now, Tammy Jo is going to come out of the pit road right in front of the leaders as we go back to green. Hopefully she will stay down to the inside, and she does. And once again, Hornaday with a great jump. And it appears Tony Raines may have his problem fixed.
That's good and bad news for Tammy Jo. She has new tires, but now she's a lap down because of that second tire change.
And she has to wait for the entire field to get by her before she can really get back in the groove.
It's so tough at Bristol. The track is so narrow. You know, a lot of times you see people with trouble. This is the hardest place to run when you've had trouble and your car may not be up to speed. This is because you cannot get out of the way. There's no place on the racetrack to get out of the way.
Mike Bliss is hung on the outside of that second pack of trucks, and again, he is a couple of laps down. Also, the number 19 truck is 5 laps down, so, folks, Tony Raines is not racing for the lead here. He's just trying to get one of his laps back. Here is Bliss on the outside of the Quaker State, number 24 of Sprague. He is trying to move back up and get one of his laps back, racing alongside of Ron Barfield. Boy, look right in the window there and watch Barfield drive.
It's obviously that Mike Bliss's truck is not right. He's bent some ball joints, he's broken a shock like Barry Dotson alluded to earlier. He's knocked the toe end out. His truck is obviously not right.
And here goes Rich Bickle in the Die Hard truck right past him, so you're right. Again, Bliss starting to go backwards. Taking a look at Michael Doccanero in contact. Mike Bliss goes to the wall. Hard impact after he made contact, and Bob Keselowski comes through with nowhere to go and slams in to the left front of Mike Bliss.
Terrible, terrible break for Bob Keselowski, and then also Mike Bliss. Looked like the 18 Mike Bliss's truck's on fire. Seems like every time we've had an accident, there's been a fire. Looks like it's still burning. Mike Bliss is trying to get back to the pits.
Bob Keselowski was in a pack of 3 trucks racing side by side, and he had nowhere to go. Now Bliss has climbed out of the Team ASE truck, and he is okay, but the truck absolutely is smashed.
Looked like the 18 truck of Michael Dokken was trying to get by Bliss, trying to get by on the inside. Mike didn't know he was there, came down. Michael Dokken had already committed. There's some serious damage and also a fire on Bob Keselowski's truck. Here we go again. Here's Michael Dokken in the 18 truck on the inside. He's trying to follow Rich Bickle by, and look, he's right on the bottom of the racetrack. Mike Bliss comes down, didn't know he was there, and around he goes into the wall. Then the trouble starts. A nice job by Brian Reffner to miss him. Here's another angle. So you see Michael Dokken, he's already up to his rear tire, almost up to his door. Backs out of the throttle. Mike comes down, just doesn't give him quite enough room.
The Dana-sponsored number 18 of Michael Dokken got away from the trouble, though, but as Mike Bliss sat in the middle of the racetrack, here comes Bob Keselowski in a pack of 3 trucks, nowhere to go. Gets pushed in there a little bit by Stacy Compton in the Valvoline truck, and a lot of damage on the Mopar Performance Dodge, the number 29 of Keselowski. So Ron Hornaday continues to be the leader. Lap 62 here at Bristol Motor Speedway, Thunder Valley, and it's a wild race tonight here at Bristol. Welcome back to live Speed World coverage of the Loadhandler 200 from Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. We've got some banged up trucks. Mike Bliss just cannot catch a break here at Bristol. Let's go down to Larry Rice, who's caught up with the driver of the ASE number 2.
Well, Ray said it. You just can't catch a break, can you?
No, we broke a right front shock off on that first lap, first deal. We tried welding it up. We couldn't get it welded. The Ford ASE was running good. You got to give a little room, you know, because you're down a lap. I was trying to stay high the whole time, and I just got clipped getting in the corner. And I guess one of those deals, you know. There's not a lot of room around here, and you want to give a lot to the guys that are on the lead lap, but I just didn't give enough, I guess, there.
Tough break. Better luck next time, man.
Okay. 7 top 10s in 1997. We're going to take a look from the in-truck camera from Mike Bliss. There's Rich Bickle in the diehard truck down to the inside. Bliss is a bit high here, but here comes Michael Dokken.
They're going down the backstretch now. Michael Dokken's pull on the inside, trying to follow Rich Bickle by. There's just a little bit of contact, and that's the result. Some pretty significant damage to the rear. And there's when Bob Keselowski comes by and clips the front of the truck.
Another big hit. Well, folks, tomorrow, ESPN2 will present a live 1-hour NASCAR Today. Coming to you from the brand new California Motor Speedway. Stay tuned as Dave Despain and the entire company will be bringing you all the inside information before the green flag drops at the California Speedway. Check out the pre-race show live tomorrow on ESPN2. You think they can fix that truck?
Yeah, they probably can. They can just patch it up to try to get out there. Every point is critical. He's up there in the points. They need to get back out there. If they can gain 3 positions, that's 9 points.
Well, his best finish this year was a second at Homestead, but last year 3 wins on the series. He won at North Wilkesboro, and also, that was in 95, excuse me, and Evergreen and I-70 in 1996. So Bliss knows his way to victory lane, but not here at Bristol.
He's run awfully well this year. A lot of races, it looked like he had the fastest truck, but he had a flat tire at Texas, and some other things have happened.
Look how calm Ron Hornaday is. Well, he should be, because he's the leader. We're at lap 67, and we'll be back with more Loadhandler 200 racing after. Just back underway here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Ron Hornaday, the leader. The number 19 Pennzoil truck of Tony Raines a couple of laps down. And also Tammy Jo Kirk, the 3rd truck you see on the racetrack, now laps down. 2nd place on the racetrack is the Federated number 44 of Boris Said. But he has not been able to catch up to the leader. Now look at Barfield. He is hung out on the outside and going straight backwards.
Rich Bickle got on the inside of him right after that restart. And before he could get back down, he lost about 3 more positions.
Rick Crawford in the number 12, or excuse me, the number 14, really making a good run there. He's currently 2nd in the rookie points and 11th in the overall series points. So Crawford with a good run.
Had a terrific run at Texas. Finished up in the top 5. Did a super job.
Yeah, 3rd place at Texas. So the Circle Bar truck with a good run, and he's having a great run tonight here at Bristol. Now you're looking at Rick Corelli in number 6, racing with Kenny Irwin and Jack Sprague. That's a gaggle, isn't it?
Yeah, Kenny Irwin took a look on the inside of Rick Corelli. Wasn't able to make the move, but he's desperate to get to the front. He wants to get by Rick Corelli. and we'll go after Borisset.
That's a race for third position on the racetrack. Corelli and the Remax truck down to the inside trying to hold that yellow line at the bottom of the track, and now Sprague wants to take a look at Irwin.
Same thing. I'll tell you, Irwin, move over to cover the spot on it.
So a battle for third right here. Hornaday and the Napa truck, your leader. These trucks all running third, fourth, and fifth.
The thing is, right now, the guys don't want to let a truck get by them because they're afraid the whole train's going to go by them. You look at Rick Corelli right now in the 6th truck. He doesn't want to let Kenny Irwin get on the inside because he doesn't know that there's only 2 trucks behind him. He thinks there may be 15 trucks behind him. And just like what happened around Barfield on a restart, if you let somebody get on the inside of him, you can lose 10 positions.
Barfield definitely did that. He lost 5 or 6 spots just by getting shoved to the high side. So these 3 trucks battling. Number 6 is Corelli. Take a look right now at our Napa field summary here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Hornaday has led every lap so far. Corelli third, Irwin and Sprague. That's the top 5 for you with Borisset in second. Moving back, we see Rich Bickle has gotten the act back together. He's in 6th. Michael Dawkin in the Dana truck. Then moving back, we see Kelly Denton now all the way up in the top 15.
Done a great job from his 20th position starting place. Got Chuck Bowen up to 18th from his 33rd position starting place.
And Rob Rizzo, so a couple of those trucks really making a move.
Got 23 trucks right now in the lead lap here. We've got about 20 more laps to go till the halftime break. Now the trucks have separated a little bit. We've got, these are the trucks that are out of the race right now. Mike Bliss, Curtis Markham, Toby Butler in the 52 Ken Schrader truck, Doug George, Jeff Spraker, and Kenny Allen. You see, Rich Bickle now has caught Jack Sprague. Rich looked like he was too tight to start of the race. He lost a lot of ground. He got by Ron Barfield. The track really seems to be coming to him because he was about 8-10 car lengths behind Jack Sprague.
Well, and the temperature is starting to drop just a little bit too, Phil, and I may wonder if that's affecting Rich Bickle's truck.
Whatever it's doing is working well for him.
This is a battle for 13.
Brian Reffner and Tony Roper, 2 former ASA drivers, battling it out here, right here at Bristol.
Oh, and Roper got way down off of the racetrack. You don't want to do that very many times, or you will not be going in a forward position.
You've got to race on the white part of the racetrack, not the black part of the racetrack.
Maybe you better get on the radio and tell him that. The number 66 truck, Brian Reffner, the Carlin Burners truck, having a good battle there with the Concord number 31. Now here is Rich Bickle, and he is coming in a hurry, going to try to catch Jack Sprague, and that is a battle for 5th position on the racetrack.
You know, right now, these guys know that in about 15 laps they're going to have to half-time break. But the problem is you come in and put fresh tires on, it's much harder to pass somebody on fresh tires. So you want to, if they can get by somebody right now, they want to do it. So on that, when they restart the race after the halftime, they don't have that car to have to work by to pass them to get that position.
You wonder how good is Ron Hornaday? Well, folks, he just ran a lap at almost exactly his qualifying speed, 119 miles an hour, and that will give him the MCI Fast Pace Award. At lap 44, they checked his time, and he is really rolling.
Doesn't seem to be anybody right now that can run with him. He's got a full straightaway on Borisset, who's in second.
8th place right here on the racetrack, the Goodwrench truck of Jay Sauter. And here comes Joe Ruttman. Ruttman, who won his very first career NASCAR Craftsman truck race right here at Bristol in the LCI truck of Jack Roush, number 80. A good battle right here, and you're on board with the precision gear on truck camera.
Ruttman's moved up all the way from 24th where he started with his truck, so he's made a significant gain.
He definitely knows his way around this racetrack. Big crowd on hand tonight here at Thunder Valley. Folks, if you've never seen a race at Bristol Motor Speedway, you need to call the ticket office and come on down here, because this is what short track racing is all about, and this is one beautiful facility. The lights have just come on now as darkness is beginning to fall here at Bristol. We've had quite a few cautions early tonight here, but they seem to be on a green flag run right now. We're going to take a short break from Bristol Motor Speedway. Ron Hornaday and the Napa truck is your leader and has been since the... Welcome back to Bristol, Tennessee. Under caution for the 6th time tonight. The yellow flag has been waving quite a bit tonight. We're under caution because of the number 41 truck, That's Randy Renfro. Now, Randy was in danger of going a lap down, and he was racing along with Stacy Compton.
Here's what happened. We'll go back to this. Coming off turn 2, the 2 white trucks right there. Randy Renfro in the 41. Stacy Compton just got back in the back just a little bit. He keeps in a throttle to get the truck out of the way, but unfortunately, as we talked earlier, the inside wall is right there. The banks are self-cleaning, and he hit a pretty good lick.
And right there goes Ron Hornaday, the leader in the Napa truck, so that's how close, and these guys were really battling for position, and Butch Miller went to the outside, avoided that accident, but Randy Renfro with pretty good contact on that backstretch wall.
You may say, why are they racing that hard with just a few laps to go to halftime? Well, they desperately have to stay in the lead lap, so that's why they were racing so hard to try to stay in the lead lap, and unfortunately for Randy Renfro, he's not going to be able to continue, it looks like, but for Stacy Compton, this caution is a break for him.
Well, earlier today here at Bristol Motor Speedway, they ran the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series and the Pep Boys 200. And you can see that action tonight on ESPN2, 10 o'clock Eastern. The NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. They've had 7 different winners in 1997. Will there be an 8th different winner tonight? Well, tune in and find out. Ron Hornaday's truck very, very strong tonight here at Bristol, and we are approaching that halfway break. The question is, at lap 96, will we go back to green? Let's go down to Larry Rice in the pits.
We're down here with Fred Graves, Ron Hornaday's pit chief. Tell us what's he saying about the truck?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
What's he saying about the truck?
Truck's pretty good right now. She's a little loose going in. Biggest problem we have right now is that the floorboard's getting really hot and it's burning up his feet.
So what do you got in your hand?
We're going to have these heel savers for him for a halftime.
His biggest problem is his feet are hot. Otherwise, the truck is working well. Back upstairs.
Well, his truck's pretty hot, too. I'm not sure if we will go back to green here before the halfway break as they continue to work on Randy Renfro over on the backstretch. So they're going to make an adjustment to try to cool off Ron Hornaday a little bit on the Napa truck.
I saw a little bit of damage on the left rear of Ron Hornaday's truck. Looked like somebody had gotten the back of him. If we can get another look at that, you see where the Burger King decal is. Somebody has gotten the back of Ron Hornaday. It shouldn't pose much of a problem, although it really looks like it's awfully close to the back of that tire. So he probably hopes that or the guys that see it from the pits hope that we don't get back to green, and so we can come in there and pull that fender off, and there will be no big problem.
So Hornaday has been the leader. He qualified on the pole tonight here at Bristol at a speed of 119.910 miles an hour. And Phil, he was the next to the last truck to go out qualifying. That was a big benefit.
It sure was. The track was cooling off with every truck, but I tell you, Ron ran awfully well, and he had run awfully well in practice. So he may very well have got the pole no matter what happened. So.
Well, we are going to have the halfway break at lap 98. So the next time by, they will come in, and we will have a 5-minute break. Tonight is the 10th event of 26 races in the 1997 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series title chase. And Ron Hornaday, of course, the champion from last season.
You know, this starts their series on a first of 10 weeks in a row. Of course, crisscrossing the country. So this is very, very difficult stretch. When we get to the end of this segment, then the points deal is going to be, really defined on who's going to be up front, who's going to be in the fight for the last 6 races of the year.
Well, I think the end of July, Phil, we'll be able to know who's really a contender because they have an incredible schedule in the month of July.
They really do. They really go all the way into September consecutively in consecutive weeks. We know how that is. We ran 11 weeks in a row this year with the Busch Series, and I tell you, it was extremely difficult on all the guys. You get back home and you have to get ready to leave again on every Wednesday.
And you cannot rest because the next race coming up is at Nazareth, Pennsylvania, a tough track. Then they go to Milwaukee, Louisville, Pikes Peak, Colorado, the road course at Topeka, and Indianapolis Raceway Park, and that all happens before July 31st.
It's unbelievable schedule.
The halfway break is about to happen, and Hornaday is on the way to the pits. A couple of trucks have stayed out here on the racetrack, not quite sure what they're doing. Blaze Alexander in the Lisa Express car will head to the back pits, evidently. And we're going to take a break. We'll come back to tell you what kind of changes they made to all the trucks as we get ready to go back to racing in the Loadhandler 200. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway and the Loadhandler 200. We're under the halftime break. And right now we'd like to go down to meet Terry Jones, the president of Loadhandler Industries.
Kmart Great Truck Giveaway. Welcome, race fans, to the inaugural NASCAR Loadhandler 200 at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Dan Lafferty of Kmart and I are proud to announce the grand prize winners of the Loadhandler Kmart Great Truck Giveaway. The lucky winners of the Loadhandler-equipped 97 Ford trucks are Jeanette Espinoza of Fairview, New Mexico, John Nita of Tallahassee, Florida, Ruth Schindler of Fort Jennings, Ohio, Thomas Hoffman of Conway, Arkansas, and Molly Walker of Dallas, Texas, my home state. Loadhandler, America's #1 brand in truck accessories, congratulates all the winners in the Loadhandler Great Truck Giveaway. Let's go back to racing.
Well, right now we'd like to take a look at the Dodge race recap here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Ron Hornaday is the leader, and he has been for all 100 laps. Well, 98 anyway. No lead changes here. 6 cautions for 45 laps, and the average speed very low at 65 because of all those cautions. Look at this. Only one guy been out front. He's done it all 100 laps.
He sure has. There really hasn't been anybody that has challenged Ron Hornaday yet. So we'll have to see if we can get these trucks. These are the trucks that are out of the race. Mike Bliss, Curtis Markham, and Toby Butler. Let's go down to Larry Rice in the pits.
Ron, this thing looks like it's on a rail. How's it feel?
I'll tell you what, Fred Graves and this whole Napa Chevrolet's done a great job so far. I don't know. You know, we're just a little loose right now, but he says everybody else is. So we're going to see if we can take this Napa Chevrolet and do what we did the first half. A couple of guys are lapped down, pressured me pretty hard. We'll just see if we got an opportunity, we'll give them their lap back. But I don't know. This Napa Chevrolet's pretty good. When it wants to go, it wants to go. But got to thank Action Collectible for sticking with us. They've been a major sponsor since we started, and they're #1 in diecast to me.
What about your feet? They tell us they're getting pretty hot.
What? Hey, when you get Buster tuning this thing and this Dennis Fisher motor that runs so great, it's got to make horsepower where water temperature's good. His exhaust pipes has got to make the heat somewhere.
Good job, man. We'll see that later. He's doing fine, and he's happy.
Well, he should be happy with a great truck, the Napa Brakes truck number 16. Well, speaking of Napa, let's take a look at the Napa field summary here at halftime of the Loadhandler 200. Hornaday from the pole stays out there. Borisette has not been able to give him a challenge. Rick Corelli, Kenny Irwin, and Jack Sprague, those positions really haven't changed much.
Really haven't. Jack Sprague has made a bit of a move from 11th up to 5th. Have Rich Bickle, Michael Docken, Jay Sauter, Joe Ruttman, and Rick Crawford in the top 10.
Barfield has slipped back quite a bit there. We see Chuck Bound coming all the way up from 33rd to 16th, and you see the cars, or trucks I should say, that are a lap down. 21 trucks still on the lead lap, and Stacy Compton, the last one of those. Now, a few of these we're listing as off, not necessarily out of the race. They're still trying to repair Toby Butler's, Curtis Markham's, and Mike Bliss. Well, we're going to take a short break and be back as we get ready to go back to racing here at Thunder Valley. It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Loadhandler 200. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. The Loadhandler 200 has just completed the halftime break, and Ron Hornaday has led all 100 laps tonight here in his Napa Chevrolet. Now, the ambulance is coming out of the infield care center, and they have the gate over in turn number 3 open. That's why all the trucks are stopped on the backstretch. So, again, kind of in a red flag situation. They're going to get the ambulance out of the racetrack. We're not sure, but we're assuming maybe that's Randy Renfro.
Yeah, we really don't want to be too premature, but here's the gate. Unfortunately, at Bristol, there is no tunnel here, so if something has to leave the racetrack like an ambulance, you have to stop the race, although it's good timing because we're already in the halftime break. But hopefully, if it is Randy Renfro or whoever it might be, that it's just minor and just a precaution.
And most of the time, they do a lot of this just as precautionary measures.
Oh, they really do. As they told us earlier with the previous accident, they just took him for observation. He was joking around. He banged his ankle. You know, maybe it may be broken, but they didn't think so. So hopefully this is just a precaution, just for examination, nothing serious.
So they've got the back gate buttoned up now, and we'll get the trucks fired back up, get them in line, and be ready to go back to racing here. Ron Hornaday not only led the fastest lap here, he led the halfway point. He gets $1,000 from Gatorade as the halfway leader. And when we get to the halfway point of the season, they give $10,000 away to the point leader at the halfway point of the season. So Hornaday trying to inch his way back up in the points.
That may be as close as Boris said gets to Ron Hornaday this race, because the way Ron Hornaday's been running, there doesn't appear to be anybody that can catch him.
Well, he's got a hot foot, but they've put on those
I think it's called a hot shoe, or hot foot, or hot shoe, or something like that.
He's a hot shoe, no doubt about it. Well, we're going to go back to racing here very shortly. The field will line back up, and when they take the halftime break, and the trucks go in. When they come back to the Speedway, they're lined up just the way they were when they threw the yellow flag.
That's right. So it's really just like they threw a caution flag for a minor spin or debris on the racetrack, and they go right back to racing.
So many of the trucks with a chance to make some changes. Did they make the right changes, and can they catch Ron Hornaday? So far on the restarts tonight, we have not seen Boris Said be able to make any kind of a move in the Federated Auto Parts number 44. Ron Hornaday has just been that tough. Let's get down to Larry Rice in the pit area.
I'm here with Troy Whitaker, Randy Renfro's crew chief. Troy, tell us what's going on. Oh, he's talking on the radio to somebody out there right now. He just got through telling me that they transported Randy to the hospital, and I don't know whether he's talking to somebody else on the crew, or maybe Randy still got the radio with him, but they thought he had a broken collarbone. Tell us again, what was the problem?
Well, right now, the best I can tell on the inside, he broke his collarbone. He took a hard look.
Okay, and who were you talking to on the radio?
I was talking to a spotter up in the tower. I'm trying to get him to go into the hospital with him, and we're going to come on up a little bit later. We're going to try to get everything loaded up and get on back up there.
Okay, so he thinks he's got a broken collarbone. He's trying to tell his dad, get in the ambulance and go with him. Back up to you guys.
Wilson, North Carolina, the home of Randy Renfro. He drives the Ultra Wheels Ford, but that truck is banged up, and evidently Randy may be a bit too.
Well, hopefully that's the X-rays will prove negative, and he'll probably be all right. Be sore, obviously, but hopefully nothing broken.
So the lineup is taking shape here. What a crowd on hand tonight here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The lights are on, and you're ready to see the second half of the Loadhandler 200. Ron Hornaday has been the leader all night long. Can Boris Said pick up the pace and try to make a move? We'll find out here in just a lap or so. The crowd comes to its feet. It's a pace truck. As the lights out, he'll drop off at turn number 4, and Hornaday waits, he waits, and the green flag is out.
Another great jump by Hornaday. I'll tell you, Ron Hornaday is one of the best guys on restarts of anybody in any division I've ever seen racing.
2x2 racing down the back straightaway. These guys would love to get in single file so that those trucks that are on the outside can get the fast way around this racetrack. Jack Sprague is broken out from the pack, but still a lot of 2x2 racing back there. Rich Bickle hung out to the outside of Blaze Alexander, back to Hornaday, and here comes Tony Raines. Raines in the Pennzoil number 19 has really made a move on Hornaday. Lots of 2x2 racing back in the pack, but here goes Raines to take a look to the outside. Now remember, the number 19 truck is a couple of laps down, so he is not racing for the lead here, just hoping to get one of those laps back on the racetrack. Hornaday's Napa truck has been strong all night long, but here comes Boris Said, the 6th truck, and the Remax sponsor, Rick Pirelli, a former winner here at Bristol Motor Speedway. He has moved up on Boris Said. Raines goes to the outside. Taking a look back here at the 18 truck, the Dana-sponsored truck of Michael Dawkin, and right on his bumper is Jay Sauter in the Good Wrench number 3 as they come down the front straightaway. Good racing here. This is 4th position.
This whole group right here, Ray, has been going tooth and nail. They were side by side for several laps after the restart. Jimmy Hensley was up in there. He got shuffled back on the outside. But you've got Joe Ruttman, Rick Crawford, Dan Press. Jay Sauter's doing all he can do. He's got a little bit of a run going. He's got to get on the inside. Again, he's losing track. He's losing track of the rest of the field. He's got to get by this truck.
Inside of Ruttman's precision gear truck, taking a look at the back bumper of Jay Sauter. Sauter won earlier this year at Loudon, New Hampshire. They've got a pretty good program there. Oh, and he wiggles a bit, goes to the inside of Dawkin, and just a slight amount of contact, but he gets that position.
Open the door right for Joe Ruttman. That you have to be able to take advantage of something like that.
And here comes the whole group. Rick Crawford now tries to get in line to make that move. He's the next truck behind Dawkin. And right now, Jay Sauter will move up on the back of Blaze Alexander in the number 62 truck, who is a lap down.
Michael Dawkin was able to get back down in front of Rick Crawford, but Rick Crawford is all over the back of him, so really touchy going right now.
Alexander, a former Rookie of the Year in the Arcabondo Marhide Series, but he is hung out on the outside, and there goes Ruttman in the UCI Ford making the move by him. Inside Ruttman's car, and look, Phil, at the amount of ground he lost having to make that pass in the center of the turn here.
Yeah, it was obvious that Michael Docken was holding up Jay Sauter, so Jay Sauter knew he had to go. He was able to get back by him.
Back to the front. There is the distance, and it is starting to close up, and here comes Boris Said.
It looks like maybe the changes they made on Boris Said's truck have worked, because this is as close as he's been able to keep Ron Hornaday in his sights.
He's had trouble on the restarts. Here is a battle for 11th as Ron Barfield in the 55 has moved up right on the bumper of the Cummins Dodge of Jimmy Hensley.
Yeah, Jimmy Hensley on that last restart actually was up beside Joe Ruttman. Here's inside of Jimmy Hensley's truck, the Cummins Dodge. He's looking at Dan Press up in front of him.
And Press's truck is bottoming out. We see a lot of sparks coming out there as they go around Blaze Alexander.
Dan Press is a number of laps down. Blaze Alexander is also 1 lap down.
Let me tell you, folks, when you try to score a race at a racetrack like this as quickly as they get around here, it can be tough. We've got a number of trucks fighting for position and battles all over the track here at Bristol Motor Speedway. 112 laps are complete in the Loadhandler 200. We'll be back with more racing from Thunder Valley after this. Back at Bristol, Ron Hornaday, the leader in the Napa Brakes truck, under caution for the 7th time. And look at the Dana Dodge for Michael Docken. Contact hard on the right front as he hit the backstretch wall. And here's what happened.
Coming off of turn 2, Rick Crawford on the inside just got in the back of him, just like we've seen several times tonight. And around he went. Again, the bank of the straightaway, self-cleaning. Into the inside wall he comes.
Almost all the accidents, Phil, that we've seen this weekend have been in the center of the straightaway. Very odd. Larry Rice is down in the pits with Michael Docken.
Well, they've taken up. They've jacked the right side of the truck up. They're going to change the 2 right side tires. They're going to take the hood completely off. It was bent so bad that there was no sense trying to get it pounded back down on. Now they're having trouble getting it off. So they're going to lose a couple of laps here while they're trying to get some metal parts out. They're going to take some big cutters out there and just cut it loose because they can't get it completely off. They got the cutters in there. They've got the right side changed, but this is going to be a very, very costly long pit stop. They're still working on the right front fender, trying to get away from all of the tires so that it won't be rubbing once they get the truck back down. But this is going to be a very costly and long pit stop. Back up to you guys.
Well, Michael Docken finished 3rd at Evergreen this year, but not going to finish in the top 10 tonight after that hard contact on the back straightaway.
I'll tell you, Kenny Irwin, but just before we went to break, had got by Rick Corelli for 3rd, and then Jack Sprague also got by Rick Corelli. So I think we're going to see a good battle between Boris Said in the 44 and Kenny Irwin in the 98, and possibly Jack Sprague also.
I have to wonder what kind of action they're trying to take with Boris Said to get him a better restart. Well, this time he drops back a little bit, ready for the restart here on lap 120. The pace truck is off, and boy, here goes Hornaday once again. Awesome restarts that he gets over Boris Said. Now out to the outside was a look from Kenny Irwin, but that's not where you want to make that pass.
Discretion was the better part of valor there, as they said.
Good call. Down the back straightaway, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place have cleared the lap traffic, so we'll see if they can catch back up to Ron Hornaday. You're looking at Boris Said in the Federated Auto Parts number 44, the Ray Festus number 98, and here comes the Quaker State truck. Fast Jack from Michigan is on a tear tonight here at Bristol. Take a look at our Napa field summary. Ron Hornaday has been out front all day, and there's not a lot of change here in the top 5. Other than the fact that Irwin and Sprague have now moved past Rick Corelli.
Got Rick Crawford, Jimmy Hensley up in the top 10 now. Kelly Denton all the way up to 13th position. Brian Ruffner in 15th. Chuck Bounds all the way up to 12th.
Bounds just keeps on clicking them off here, so a good run for the Exide Ford tonight. Kenny Irwin putting some pressure on the 44, and those 2 trucks are beginning to close up that gap on the leader once again.
Really, Ron Hornaday squirted out to about a half a straightaway lead. These guys are reeling them in just a little bit at a time.
Mike Bliss off the racetrack. You see Bob Keselowski a number of laps down after that major contact over in turn number 4.
Yeah, Mike Bliss actually just got back on the racetrack about a lap ago.
So Kenny South salvage some points tonight? That's the big question. Well, they've got him back out there, but he's certainly not where he would like to be here at Bristol. Well, here goes Kenny Irwin. That truck is really moving up. The Ray Bestis truck took a look to the outside of Boris Said.
It looks like they're not able, though. Jack Sprague's not able to stay with them right now. He's got about 3 truck lengths behind, and he's not able to keep the pace that they're running. But I think you're right. I think Boris,
Contact. Boris Said in the 98 made contact, and down the front straightaway goes Jack Sprague spinning, but he just barely touches the front wall, and I don't think that's going to hurt the Quaker State truck too much. He's back underway, and no caution. Ladies and gentlemen, no caution here at Bristol. What a tough break for Jack Sprague, and he's still squirrely.
I think something happened to Boris Said. He went in the corner, the truck wiggled, he went up high. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but Jack Sprague had nowhere to go, took evasive actions and spun and just maybe barely nudged the inside wall, but I don't think it caused any damage.
The truck really wiggled coming off in turn 2. I'm talking about Boris Said's number 44. And Kenny Irwin decided he was going to go to the inside, and that's what caused that. So now Kenny Irwin in the Ray Bestis truck moves into second. Said recovered, and he is racing with Rich Bickle in the Die Hard truck, but Boris Said's truck definitely not performing to his liking.
You know, he may just be loose because maybe that's why he was able to hang with Hornaday a little bit better than he had been. They may have loosened the truck up, but now, as the truck gets looser and looser and looser, he's having a hard time. Undoubtedly, he just got loose in that corner, slid up the racetrack, and that's what caused that little problem for Jack Sprague trying to avoid it.
Well, that could have been a lot worse, folks. So some heads-up driving from all these guys. Let's take a look at the replay of exactly what happened. Now, Sprague goes way down to the inside. You see, Said was way up there, and Kenny Irwin did a nice job of keeping it off the outside wall.
Kenny Irwin had backed off to try to let Boris Said get straightened out. Jack Sprague, who was a little bit behind, ran up on the inside of Kenny Irwin, but then just ran out of racetrack, got his left side down in the asphalt coming off the corner, and spun around.
Kenny Irwin has had a great move in the point standings. He moved up 2 positions after the last race. Coming into tonight, he's 3rd in the points and only 55 points behind Rich Bickle. So he has got to be happy with where he's running. The question is, can he do anything with Ron Hornaday?
Rich Bickle right now is the truck on the move. Boris Said is holding him up pretty badly right now, but Rich Bickle has definitely improved this truck from the start of the race.
135 laps complete, and there goes Bickle to the inside. He makes the move on Said, a little contact as they rub down the back straightaway, and Bickle will get the position.
That was a beautiful view from the in-truck camera there.
Here comes Corelli now. Is he going to be able to get around Boris Said? Said slides up the racetrack there. Corelli right on his back bumper, and they wiggle once again.
You can see Boris Said wiggling off every corner. I think his truck is extremely loose right now.
So Rich Bickle in the Sears Die Hard number 17 moves to 3rd position. So a bit of a change in the running order, and on the front straightaway, Ron Barfield slides sideways after making contact with the inside wall. Number 55 has crashed.
Looked like, I think he hit the outside wall coming off the corner and then slid down the racetrack. Let's take a look at what happened.
Barfield and Ron Gloy's number 55. Here's our speed shot on the front straightaway. Now Barfield's about the 8th truck back there, and oh boy, you're right. Right front tire apparently let go, and he hit the wall coming out of turn 4 very hard.
Undoubtedly ran over something, cut the tire down and hit the wall extremely hard. The truck jumped up in the air, which they frequently do here at Bristol, but you know, hopefully Ron's okay. He did not get in the inside wall, so he didn't get a hit when he wasn't ready for it.
The 8th caution here at Bristol Motor Speedway. You're watching the Loadhandler 200. Ron Hornaday continues to be your leader here at Thunder Valley. 8 cautions has slowed the race tonight here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Welcome back. Ray Dunlap along with Phil Parsons and Larry Rice bringing you the 10th event of 1997 in the Craftsman Truck Series. Now here is why we are under caution. That's Ron Barfield's truck, and he hit the wall a ton.
He walked to the ambulance, so fortunately Ron looks to be okay.
Jack Sprague has made it to the pit area in the Quaker State 4x4, number 24, and Larry, you're right there.
Yes, they changed the right side tires the first time in. Now they're changing the left side tires. The officials from NASCAR were here. They looked at them. They said, yes, they're definitely flat spotted, so it's okay to go ahead and change them. They've got the left side tires on now. He's going to take a look at the left side tires, but I think once he determines they're okay, okay, then he's going to say these are okay too, because they were definitely flat spotted. Yep, he just says okay, they're flat spotted, get them out of here. Back upstairs.
19 trucks are on the lead lap at this point, so Sprague will have a long way to go as we're at lap 141 here at Bristol. Well, ESPN tips off its season of WNBA basketball with a Western Conference matchup coming at you. It's the Los Angeles Sparks and the Utah Stars. Women's basketball starts Monday night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Ambulance on its way off the racetrack in turn number 4. And Ron Barfield walked to the ambulance, so that is a great sign. And I'll tell you what, he clobbered the wall coming out of turn 4 here in that truck. So a tough break for Barfield, who's only made a couple of starts in 1997.
With 1 lap to go till green, we'll see if Kenny Irwin and Rich Bickle can do anything with Ron Hornaday.
So we'll go back to racing here in a lap.
The 24, Jack Sprague's coming back in the pits.
1 lap to go, and we'll be back under green, and Sprague on his way to the pits here. They're making a wedge adjustment to the back of the truck, so things must not have been quite to Sprague's liking, but he is going to have to go in a hurry if he's going to get back up to where he was. Ron Hornaday has been the leader all night. Kenny Irwin Jr. in the Ray Bestis Ford is second. Rich Bickle has moved to third. He's the series point leader. And a very slow restart for Kenny Irwin as he got sideways down the front straightaway.
These guys restart this race in second gear. He jumped in the throttle. The thing spun sideways. Now Dan Press has got by him, a lap truck. So now Kenny Irwin is already about 15 car lengths behind Ron Hornaday with a lap truck in between.
What a jump again that Hornaday got coming down the front straightaway. Restarts have been the key to his success tonight. And that Napa truck performing very well. Hornaday with 1 win in 1997. Take a look at the field behind him. Boy, that's a good view when you're the leader.
There you see Dan Press in the 75 truck move over and let Kenny Irwin go. A very gentlemanly thing to do. Now we'll see if Kenny Irwin can run down Ron Hornaday.
A battle here as Corelli has come right back up to challenge Boris Said in the number 44 truck. And don't count out Jay Sauter in that Goodwrench truck. He is right there with him.
And Jay Sauter's moved all the way up to 6th position with Joe Ruttman in 7th.
Inside, Boris Said, Federated Auto Parts truck, and right on his bumper, the Remax truck gives him a little bunch, and look at this freight train going by Said.
That's the thing. That's why Boris Said desperately did not want anyone to get by him, because look how many trucks are passing him.
About 9 trucks make the move, and here goes Chuck Bound in the Exide Ford. He's alongside, and Tony Roper right behind, and Bob Reback's number 31. Michael Dawkin off the pace there, going slow, but Boris Said makes a major move backward.
Finally able to get in line. He lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, and Corelli gets bumped by Jay Sauter down the back straightaway, but they get it straightened out. Rick Corelli was sideways.
Now Rick Corelli's in the same boat, hung on the outside. He slowed very much coming off turn 2 for some reason.
You see Corelli there. He is on the outside, Phil, and he is about to get freight train.
He's going all the way back to with Boris Said.
It's like drafting at Daytona, isn't it?
Sure is. Just like a restrictor plate race. But he finally got back in line right behind Boris Said. They each lost 6th or 7th position by being moved off the bottom of the racetrack.
So Corelli ahead, as Boris said right there, but you're right. Moving way back, 6 or 7 spots lost in just 1 lap here at the .533-mile Bristol Motor Speedway. A great night for racing. The lights are on. And we'll take a look at our Napa field summary. At this point, things have changed a good bit now. Hornaday still out front, but it's Irwin, Bickle, Sauter, and Ruttman in the top 5.
You got Rick Crawford all the way up to 6th from his 25th position starting. Also, Jimmy Hensley up from 27th, Chuck Bound from 33rd. So some guys have made some major moves.
Boy, Napa's got to like that when they have the field summary and they see their truck is leading, huh?
Works out well for them. Then we have a local, Brad Teague, from this area, from the Tri-City area, doing a one-off race.
So Hornaday with the truck to beat tonight, no question about that. Boris Said had nothing for him on the restarts. If we were to get another caution here, the big question is, and we will have a caution here, possibly, as the 27 truck was spun coming off of turn number 2.
Bob Rizzo. Yeah, no caution yet. He's off the he's got back going. So when he spun, he got down off the racetrack. So NASCAR did not elect to throw a caution flag because he was out of harm's way.
Good break for Hornaday here as he continues to keep a big lead. And Hornaday will be coming up the lap traffic here in just a moment. Terry Cook in the PBA number 88 is the next truck just ahead of Ron Hornaday. And about a half a straightaway ahead of him, there's 20 trucks.
He's just setting a tremendous pace out there. It doesn't seem like Kenny Irwin can stay with Ron Hornaday as well on this run as he did the time before.
The number 31 truck of Tony Roper has a problem, and he is headed to the pits. He slowed dramatically coming off of turn number 2, and here goes Hornaday underneath Dawkins. But while he had to work on getting by Michael Dawkins, that gave a bit of a break to Terry Cook.
Okay, Jack Sprague has moved all the way back up into 10th position. We got trouble over in turn 3 and 4. We have a truck spinning around.
Number 9, Greg Marlowe from Troutman, North Carolina, spins, and Tammy Jo Kirk has made contact on the front stretch, and that will bring out the yellow. You see the Jeff Bodine number 7 sitting there, and that was the reason for our 9th caution of the night here at Bristol. Well, we had a record number of cautions in the Winston Cup race here in the spring. It appears we may be approaching that again tonight as things are pretty wild on this half-mile racetrack here at Bristol.
I'll tell you, action happens all around the racetrack. You look one place and...
Take a look at what happened there.
There's the tail end. There's the car that spun initially over there off the corner. The 9 truck, and there's Tammy Jo that spun. She may have went down on the apron to dodge that car or that truck, and got her inside tires on the asphalt. And you don't get as much grip on the asphalt because number 1, it's flatter than the banked racetrack. So that's probably what happened to Tammy Jo.
So the Lovables Ford will get back in line, and the Napa Ford is out front. Lap 161 here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and Ron Hornaday is your leader. Ron Hornaday in the Napa truck is the leader here, but we've got a crash involving Boris Said and Jack Sprague over in turn number 2 as they were trying to come through the field, and so far no yellow. The 44 truck gets it right, but he's right in front of the leaders, and Boris Said is now a lap down. And Lance Norick has crashed. Another truck's crashing. Kenny Irwin is involved over in turn number 4 as he slams into the wall on the outside. An unbelievable turn of events as evidently oil down on the racetrack and a major pileup here at Bristol.
I think Lance Norick blew an engine going in turn 3 down here, and the leaders came through here. Ron Hornaday went real high, almost spun out, and then Kenny Irwin came in there and spun around and ran into Terry Cook, who had initially spun, I think, in the oil.
Unbelievable. Terry Cook from Sandusky, Ohio, having a good run tonight in the PBA truck, and boy, what a terrible break for the Ray Bestis team and Kenny Irwin. He is okay. He has just now put the window net down. Terry Cook out of his truck, and he is okay walking around, but a tough break for both of those drivers who were performing so well. Take a look at just exactly what happened. This is over in turn 4. Now, Boris Said in the 44 truck has spun. You see Jack Sprague is down here on the inside, but he gets it right and starts to go. Now, there is no caution on the racetrack at this point.
See, right now, Boris Said is off the racetrack, but to get going, he pulls on the racetrack. Ron Hornaday actually went by him on the apron coming off of turn 2.
So at that point, Boris Said had already gone a lap down, and then the big pileup happened at the opposite end of the speedway, where Terry Cook made significant contact and Kenny Irwin had absolutely nowhere to go. There you see Terry Cook making the walk to the infield care center, which is mandatory.
Which I think the accident that happened over in turn 3 and 4 had nothing to do with what happened to Boris Said and Jack Sprague over in turn 2.
Absolutely. So a wild night here at Bristol Motor Speedway. This place can reach out and bite you. The 10th caution on lap 166. Boris Said now a lap down in the number 44. Hornaday has been your leader all night long. Let's go back to the number 16 truck's in-truck camera. Now, this is looking out the back of Hornaday.
This is going down the front stretch. Now, right in front of them, Jack Sprague and Boris Said have spun. Now, you watch Ron Hornaday turn left, go across the apron. You see Kenny Irwin on that right behind him. Now, look at Hornaday. He's loose. He's up high. Kenny Irwin spins an oil, hits the outside wall, and then hits the other car that has already spun, the 88 car, or 88 truck.
Truck. This is truck racing.
But it was obviously there was oil down on the racetrack because Ron Hornaday almost spun, and then Kenny Irwin came in there and spun.
And the 88 truck was already in the wall.
That's right. Let's go down to Larry Rice in the pits.
We're down here with Gary Showalter. You had a great truck. That was a terrible break. What happened?
Well, Kenny said somebody blew a motor in front of him, and he hit the oil, and there's nothing he could do, just lost control. This Ray Best's Ford was really good today. I think we had a chance to get Hornaday a run for his money today.
You changed nothing at the halftime except tires, right?
We just put new tires on, and we were just kind of riding and waiting for our time.
Tough break for these guys. They thought they had a good shot at winning it. Back upstairs.
Well, I would certainly agree with them, Larry. I think they did have a shot at coming up there and at least giving Hornaday a challenge, and it'd have been another top 5 finish for Kenny Irwin, but it's not to be. Well, Ron Hornaday continues to lead. It's 4 Chevys out front of Joe Ruttman's Ford. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. It's the Loadhandler 200 here on ESPN. Lap 172, and Ron Hornaday continues to be your leader. The big question now is, can Rich Bickle or Jay Sauter give a challenge to Hornaday?
It's going to be interesting to see if they can, because Rich Bickle has been towards the front the whole night, but Jay Sauter has had to work his way from way back in the pack. So, you know, they may have a better truck than the guys that have been up in second trying to give Ron Hornaday a run. But I'll tell you, Ron Hornaday gets such a jump on the restart that it'll take you 15 laps just to gain back what he gains on the restart. He's a half a straightaway ahead by the time the second place car clears the lap car that starts on the inside.
Well, Bickle started 8th tonight in the Sears Diehard Chevrolet, and Jay Sauter all the way back in 16th. So those two drivers have made their way through the field to get up there to race with Hornaday. Well, if you like racing, we got it for you here on ESPN. The Budweiser G.I. Joe's 200. It's the Indy Cars, the 9th race of the 1997 PPG Kart World Series. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, coming to you from Portland International Raceway, the Budweiser G.I. Joe 200. We got all kinds of racing for you this weekend. Live tonight with the NASCAR Craftsman trucks coming up later tonight on ESPN2. You can watch the Pep Boys 200 that was run earlier today here at Bristol.
Ron Hornaday getting a little drink of water out of his water hose there. You can see him turning the steering wheel. What he's doing is trying to clean the tires off. You run through a lot of rubber that's come off these tires, and it gets on the tires. We call it buildup, and it can be very, very slick. So that's what Ron Hornaday's trying to do right now, is clean those tires off, get ready for this restart. Because I'll tell you, I'm watching with a lot of interest as to how he does it, because he's the best I've ever seen.
No doubt about it. 1 lap to go, and we'll be back to racing. Blaze Alexander and the Lisa Express truck will be lined up on the inside. Alexander is being shown a couple of laps down. No, just 1 lap down in 16th, excuse me. But you're right, this restart could be critical for Rich Bickle. He has not had a chance to challenge Hornaday. We'll see if the Sears Diehard truck has anything for him tonight. 2 victories in 1997 for Bickle, 1 for Hornaday. Of course, Hornaday won at Tucson earlier this year, a track that's nothing like Bristol.
Not at all.
Not many of them like this place here, a concrete jungle. Green flag is back out, and there goes that classic jump that we have seen. Hornaday was able to really move in on Bickle, and Blaze Alexander drops in the lap truck, which holds up Bickle, but Bickle just didn't get a good run.
No, he really did. Blaze Alexander really had nothing to do with it that time, because Rich Bickle just did not get a good run. Jay Sauter right now in the 3 truck, said the problem is he can't go anywhere because Rich Bickle doesn't go anywhere.
Boris Said is off the pace in the federated number 44 on his way to the pit road. So trouble tonight for Boris Said. And down the back straightaway, there was a move from Jay Sauter. There's Said in the federated truck, and the team trying to push him. Maybe he was out of gas. Alexander again 1 lap down in that 62 truck. He is racing right behind Ron Hornaday, and Alexander would love to see a caution come out so he could get by and maybe get back on the lead lap. But 17 and 3 are having a battle here. Jay Sauter with a good truck, a good wrench. Number 3 right on the bumper of Rich Bickle.
You see Rick Corelli in the 6 truck now. He had moved all the way back to about 8th when he got shuffled out. But right there he is. I think right now Rich Bickle is holding his whole line of traffic up. You've got Joe Ruttman in the yellow number 80 at the top of your screen, and also Rick Crawford in the 14 truck.
What a great run for Crawford, a former winner on the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series.
We've got to see if Jay Sauter can get by Rich Bickle, because everybody we've had in second has not been able to make a run on Ron Hornaday. We need to see another truck and see if he can make a run on it.
3 top 10s this year, and that is pretty impressive, I think, when we're talking about Crawford.
He's done a super job. He had an excellent run in Texas, as we talked about earlier. But right now, Jay Sauter is desperately trying to figure out a way to get around Rich Bickle's truck.
Well, there'll be a shakeup in the Cintas rookie order tonight as Kenny Irwin Jr. has crashed out of this race. He is leading Rick Crawford, and Crawford with 98 points, Irwin with 131. But Crawford, if he's able to stay in the race at this point, will make a major gain on him in the Rookie of the Year challenge.
Right now, I think Rich Bickle has realized that he cannot do anything with Ron Hornaday. Right now, he's looking in that mirror and said, I've got to keep this 3 truck behind me.
The points leader. He took the points lead on the 2nd race of this season and has never looked back. 2 wins for Rich Bickle, and here is Ruttman trying to get past the Remax truck of Rick Corelli from Denver, Colorado. The Precision Gear sponsored in-truck camera, and look at this, Ruttman moving right up on the Chevrolet of Corelli.
Started back in 24th position, moved all the way up to 5th here. Rick Crawford right on Joe Ruttman's bumper. So if Joe Ruttman tries too hard to get by Rick Corelli, then Rick Crawford's going to get by Joe Ruttman.
And Bob Keselowski in the Mopar Performance Dodge you saw there just briefly as Hornaday goes by him again. So Keselowski back out. And here is a look from the inside of your leader. He has got a big gap on 2nd place. Ron Hornaday strong tonight here at Bristol. Welcome back to Bristol, Tennessee. The rule tonight has been if we go to a commercial break, they have a yellow where Lonnie Rush made hard contact to turn number 1 wall. Rush from Pickerington, Ohio comes up there and makes contact there, slams the wall pretty hard, and Lonnie Rush's day is going to be done.
Fortunately, the trucks were able to get by him before Lonnie came back down the racetrack. So Lonnie's already got out of the truck. He's okay. A lot of damage to the truck, but he'll be all right, and he'll be able to fix that thing and go again.
A&G Coal Company, the sponsorship on Rush. He's from Pickerington, Ohio. We're back under caution, the 11th time tonight, and here's a look at your Napa field summary. The Napa truck out front tonight, Ron Hornaday. Bickle in 2nd. There you see Sauter, Corelli, Ruttman. Boy, what a good run for Joe Ruttman tonight, starting all the way back in 24th. And how about the 14 truck of Crawford?
Jimmy Hensley's also moved up from his 27th starting position up into the top 10 and 7th. Jack Sprague made his way back up to 8th.
And as we move back through the field there, you can see Boris Said has dropped all the way back to 18th, now 2 laps down, and will continue to work his way backwards. Right now we have 7 trucks out of the race. Take a look from an in-truck camera here at that last spin. This is on board with Mike Bliss in the Ultra Wheels Team ASE truck, and rushes sideways, hard contact there. Michael Dawkins once again right there.
There was a black truck right behind Lonnie Rush. It looks like there might have been contact, and that may have sent Lonnie Rush around as they enter turn 1. That's your most vulnerable on any racetrack, going in the corner, because you're off the throttle on the brakes, and that's when you're most vulnerable. You have a lot more control if you're on the throttle, but when you're come off the throttle, going down in the corner on the brakes, that's when you're most vulnerable. And unfortunately, that's when a lot of the contact has been made, and that's when we've had a lot of the accidents.
And we've had quite a few tonight. 11 cautions here. We're at lap 194, so it will be a shootout to the finish here if we're able to go back to green flag racing. Ron Hornaday and the Napa truck has had great restarts, and so far tonight we have not seen anybody who is able to give him any kind of challenge. Well, after the race tonight, you'll see the X Games. They're back, the 1997 edition of the X Games. Day 1 tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll go out to San Diego, California. Lots of action coming your way, of course, across the course of the next couple of weeks in the X Games.
If the action in the X Games is anything like the action we've seen tonight, it's going to be something to behold.
No doubt about it. Well, Ron Hornaday is the second all-time leader in wins here in the Craftsman Truck Series. He's putting his goggles back on, ready to go to work. He's got 11 career victories. He's second to Mike Skinner, who's won 16 times on this series. So we are going to go back to racing with just a couple of laps remaining. 1 lap to go now, so it'll be a 3-lap shootout.
That's right, in a single file restart. So these guys will not have to worry about the lap trucks. See, the problem with Jay Sauter not being able to get by Rich Bickle, right now we're going to have three laps to go out in this restart. Well, if Jay Sauter had got by Rich Bickle, well, then maybe he could have made a run at Hornaday. But right now, he's got Rich Bickle in between them.
Well, 11 cautions tonight here at Bristol. Not the kind of record that you want to set. Take a look at the number 3 truck of Jay Sauter. There's the Good Wrench sponsor car. A little damage on the left rear there, but that's not going to affect him. The question is, can he or Rich Bickle or even Rick Corelli or Joe Ruttman or Crawford, can they all do anything with Hornaday? Green flag is back out, and here we go. It's a 3-lap dash for the cash. Down the front straightaway, and Ron Hornaday gets a fabulous jump once again.
And that's the least jump he's got all night, it seems like. He is just really, really good on the restart. I can't impress upon the fact that he's just so good on the restart.
On the outside is the 24 truck. That is Jack Sprague, and he's making a move, trying to come back up through the field here. Sprague listed in 8th position, but he is clicking them off. They are coming around this time. The white flag is out, and Ron Hornaday has 1 lap to go. Jay Sauter right on the bumper of Rich Bickle. Bickle, the point leader. Hornaday, last year's champion. Down the back, straightaway, no contest. For Ron Hornaday, he will pick up his 12th career win. Rich Bickle will finish second. A great run for the checkers there, and Jay Sauter gave him all he could.
Sure did. Look like Rich Bickle still got him, but it was about a fender width.
Bickle will finish second, and he will hold on to the points lead tonight after a good run, but boy, no one had anything for Ron Hornaday and the Napa team.
Led every lap.
Every lap of the race. I don't think we've seen that happen in 1997.
Okay, that doesn't happen very often in any form of racing.
7 winners in 1995. 7 different winners in 1996. We thought we might have an 8th different winner tonight, but Ron Hornaday said no way. His second win of 1997 after winning back in March at Tucson, Arizona.
The shot you see right now, you see the outside wall on the left side of the truck. That's because he's going backwards around the racetrack, making a Polish victory lap here.
Well, the lights are on down in Victory Lane. We'll be back with Ron Hornaday's Victory Lane interview in the Napa Brakes truck back after this. And welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. Ray Dunlap, Phil Parsons, and Larry Rice bringing you the action tonight in the Loadhandler 200, which was won by that guy, Ron Hornaday. Well, don't forget, folks, the X Games are coming up. As soon as we wrap up our coverage here from Bristol Motor Speedway, we'll send you out to the West Coast, to San Diego, for the X Games season opener. Larry Rice is in Victory Lane with tonight's winner.
Well, you sure made that look easy. You led every single lap, and every restart, you just pulled away from everybody.
It's Chevrolet stuff, isn't it? Chevrolet trucks, I tell you what, they've been behind us 100%. Napa Brakes, Action, Burger King. I don't know what to say. I tell you what, when we got old Fred, if we said we could make this Chevrolet run like that Dodge did and keep it together, and it did. I got to thank Dennis Fisher, Buster's tuning these motors, Gordy, who gives me that transmission. All the guys back at the shop, which really put these trucks together. We been beating them up, tearing them up. I don't know. I just got to thank Banjo and all the guys. Dale, Teresa, thanks again. Love you.
Hey, you had about 3 or 4 different cars or trucks behind you all during the race. Every time there was a restart, it didn't matter who was there. You pulled away to 6 Well, we're getting wet here. 6 or 7 truck length lead every time.
I don't know what to say. That's just me and my transmission guy working together. He worked with me with my little car, and come back from Sauga Speedway days. You know, I tell you what, this is our Daytona. These super trucks are NASCAR trucks. Sorry, NASCAR. It's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And I don't know what to say. Best truck I've had, and we knew when we came off the trailer, the Chevrolet was tough. And I'll tell you what, right there, Fred Graves is the man you got to thank, because I tell you, he's awesome.
Well, I misidentified one of your crew guys, Fred. I apologize. You must have had this thing set up perfect for him.
Well, we weren't just right, but it was good enough for tonight.
Plenty good enough.
I'll tell you what, he's done everything for me. He had a lot of faith in me. I got a lot of faith in him. We're going places, I'll tell you.
Well, you got to be very happy. I mean, nobody I don't think has ever done this before.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll tell you what, we're going to put this one in the record books. And happy birthday to myself. I don't know what to say. Dale Teresa, thanks again. And Ty Norris, Don Hawk. I did that for Alan Kowicki. I haven't got a full lap around. I about crashed the truck. I'm not doing that, but I'll tell you what, that was fun. And I'll tell you what, Loadhandlers, thanks for sponsoring the race. Everybody, appreciate it.
Well, happy birthday to himself. Back up to you guys.
Well, happy birthday to Ron Hornaday, and also to my broadcast partner, Phil Parsons, celebrating a birthday today. Congratulations to Ron Hornaday, the winner today. Now, folks, he was 6th on the laps led list coming in tonight with only 83 laps led, but add 200 to that, and it moves him up to 3rd position. So one race can really do a lot for you in this series.
Here's the results. We've got Hornaday, Bickle, Sauter, Corelli, and Ruttman in the top 5. Great run for Rick Crawford. Jack Sprague got back to 7th. Jimmy Hensley, a good run. Chuck Bowen and Brian Ruffner. Dave Resendez up to 11th. Kelly Denton in 12th. Here's the second page. We've got Rob Rizzo in 16th. Boris said managed to escape with a 17th place finish. Tony Roper, Tammy Jo Kirk, and Butch Miller round off the top 20.
Quite a few trucks out of the race tonight, and a lot of contact with the concrete here at Bristol. Just about every place on this racetrack, somebody made some contact. Well, tonight was the 10th event of 26 in the season. The next race will be at Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Ron Hornaday has pulled off the coup and led all 200 laps tonight in the Loadhandler 200. Take a look at our points right now. Rich Bickle will hold on to the point lead. Jack Sprague moving up there. Joe Ruttman had a good run tonight, and Kenny Irwin is going to drop back now to 4th after crashing out.
Yeah, Chuck Bowen only 1 point behind Kenny Irwin. Mike Bliss lost some points tonight, had some tough luck. Butch Miller didn't have a very good run, had some trouble. Dave Resendez was 11th. Jay Sauter had a good run, moved up, and Ron Hornaday is now in 10th.
The last race of the season, folks, will be in November at Las Vegas, Nevada. But, boy, we got a lot of racing coming up between now and then.
For sure. They have 9 more weeks in a row. I just want to take this opportunity, Ray, to wish my mom and dad a happy anniversary and, you know, a wedding anniversary, and also my sister Patty. Let's go down to Larry Rice.
Jay, you came from a long way back. Good finish.
Well, I'll tell you, this Good Wrench Service Plus team was awesome tonight. We had a pushing truck in the beginning, and they made all the right adjustments at the half, and it really came on. We just ran short of time.
Do you think you had a shot on him if it had been a little longer?
Well, I know I had a good shot at Bickle, and I don't know what I had for Hornaday. He was tough all night, and we'll take 3rd and get on with it.
It was a great run. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, lots of things going on this weekend, and one of those is the fact that not only Phil Parsons and Ron Hornaday are having a birthday, but tomorrow it's Jay Sauter's birthday, and he finished 3rd.
You are a machine, a force to be reckoned with. To keep all pistons firing, you've got to feed the machine. And the fuel you need is right here in Men's Health. Get rock-hard abs now, 6 different ways, and no sit-ups. Discover superfoods for instant energy and fat burning. Eat what you want and still lose weight. Only Men's Health delivers the latest information that talks to real guys, like the ultimate 20-minute workout to sculpt a body that says power. Call for your free trial issue. Keep it and get a full year for $19.97. You'll also get 3 books free. 100 Ways to Burn Fat Faster, the Men's Health Guide to Intimacy, and Quick and Healthy Cooking for Men. When it comes to romance, Men's Health reveals what she really wants and shows you how to make your relationship intense and incredibly pleasurable. Subscribe now for just $19.97. Cancel anytime and keep the free books. You're a machine. Try Men's Health today. Be the machine.
It's a new America with a new and different voice. A fearless voice. A controversial voice. But always a truthful voice. The American Spectator. Fearless. Controversial. Truthful. And now free. Call the toll-free number on your screen for a free issue of the American Spectator. If you like it, subscribe and get a full year for just $29.97. If not, keep the free issue with no obligation. Find out why some of the most powerful voices in America can't stop the American Spectator from being the fastest growing news magazine in history. It's the news source for a changing America. You won't find the American Spectator on many newsstands, so call this toll-free number now. Call now, 1-800-554-9000, and ask for your free issue of American Spectator. When your free issue arrives, if you like it, you'll get 12 issues for just $29.97. If not, cancel and keep the free issue with no obligation. Call 1-800-554-9000 now for the American Spectator.
The seniors roll into the Windy City as defending champ Dave Stockton takes on all comers at Olympia Fields, the U.S. Senior Open. Coverage begins today at 1 and 5 on ESPN.
Welcome back to the Loadhandler 200 at Bristol Motor Speedway. Ron Hornaday has won it, led all 200 laps, but a good run for Rich Bickle.
Rich, you had a great run. You had to dodge a lot of debris, but you brought her home.
I'll tell you what, the guys did a great job in the Sears Chevrolet. You know, we're a little too tight in the beginning and we're a little loose at the end there, but we brought the thing home in second place. Starting here with all the fenders on it, you know, what can you say? I mean, a lot of guys have raced this racetrack, and this baby's tough. And I want to say hi to Daryl tomorrow. Hope he has a great run. And you know, we didn't bring home the trophy, buddy, but we gained a little bit more of the points.
Okay, congratulations. Well, he had a great run, and he lengthened his point lead. Back upstairs.
Old DW qualified 8th for tomorrow's race out at California. It'll be a good one. Keep your eye on Darrell Waltrip. Tomorrow afternoon, Rich Bickle had a great run. Well, tomorrow, it's also the Budweiser's G.I. Joe 200 for the Kart PPG World Series, the 9th event of a 17-race schedule. Tomorrow from Portland International. Coming up next, the X Games. Thanks a lot to Larry Rice down in the pits and Phil Parsons, my broadcast partner here. And congratulations to Ron Hornaday in his second win of 1997. Thanks for joining us here at Bristol. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.